Hi everybody, Brian from Rebel Traders here. It is the weekend, October 11th, and hope everyone is having a good weekend. We certainly had quite the day Friday, big sell-off on some news regarding new tariffs and rare earth elements, so lots to talk about. Let's get down to it. All right, so let's start out by talking about what happened last week in the market. We really saw the market sell off on Friday after we got the post from President Trump about China having a hostile export controls on rare earths. And then he, of course, followed up with the suggestion he was going to put an additional 100% tariff on their goods. And of course, the market did not like that very much. So we got another tariff sell-off similar to the one we had in April. And this was, I guess, the worst sell-off since then. Meanwhile, the U.S. government obviously shutdown continues. Lack of economic data coming out because of that, and a lot of people not working, not getting paychecks, unfortunately. You can see there most of those losses that you see, the Dow, Q, SPY, IWM, most of those occurred on Friday. You can see here we had a flight to safety with the sectors that gained the most, utilities and staples. Energy really took a beating here on this. It's usually an indicator of economic activity. So if there's going to be more tariffs, that was definitely a concern. Discretionary sector again got hit as well. 2-year and 10-year treasuries down a little bit. The dollar quite strong and it's finished strongly on Friday. As you can see, they're up 1.5% after it's been kind of down in the doldrums. And of course, Bitcoin being somewhat of a risk-on asset, it did take a bit of a beating here on Friday as well, flirting up near that 125 level last week and now back down. I think it went as low as 106 on Friday, or Friday after the sort of close before it came back up. So that was your week in review. Pretty volatile Friday going out into the weekend. Available on Amazon. The 2 books, How to Swing Trade, Profiting as an Active Trader, more swing trading, position trading. You can check that out. This is a little bit more in depth. This is A to C basics. And my latest book, How to Trade Options, which again is an A to Z on how to trade options. I'll talk a little bit about some options trades as we come up to looking at potential trades for this week. But those are available and links are in the description below. So let's get on and look at some indexes here. Okay, so let's go through the indexes quickly here. You can see the Treasury yields continuing to drop, the 2-year down at 3.5%. This is pretty much where we've bottomed before. So a lot of anticipation that we're going to get a rate cut here coming up at the next Fed meeting. And all odds are that it'll happen. And even the 10-year dropping a little bit here as the economy seems to continue to weaken. We didn't get any labor data this last week, but I think the Fed got the data because they get it a day or two before it gets released to the public. And I think the timing on that worked out that they probably got that data, so they know what it is. Everyone's expecting the labor market to continue to show some weakness. Here you see the Dow. Wow, we really sold off here on Friday, back down to this 50 moving average. I think we've got probably a little more downside here, maybe down to this level. But I'd be watching for some support here. Again, I think the memory from the last tariff sell-off is probably fresh in people's minds because it didn't happen that long ago. And I think there'll be some anticipation of some buying that'll happen that may support the market at some of these levels here. Again, right down on the Dow there, and same with the SPY. Again, there's your or the Qs, I should say. There's your level there around 580. I'd be watching all these levels because I think we will open up with some more selling on Monday, and I think that the market will find a bit of a bottom. That's kind of what I'm expecting, but we'll let price action tell us where things are going. There's the SPY again. This some of these levels here, sort of 650 650 level, 645 level looks kind of like a good area for some support. Again, watching for these support levels on some of these indexes here. Again, IWM, same story, really sold off a lot. This is the index that took the biggest hit, and yeah, it could come back down here into this 230 level. If it can get down there. Otherwise 235 maybe on that level. I've got those levels to watch in my one slide there. The VIX again, big pop up here on Friday. Not surprising. You can see here we've topped out there before, here and here, and even here we came up and pulled back. So this sort of 2250 area is something to watch. We'll watch the VIX for next week if we start getting a pullback again. And the dollar, we had a real spike up on the dollar this week. Pulled back on Friday, but yeah, really moved up strongly. And there's your dollar. Looks like a bit of a breakout here on the dollar. So kind of keeping an eye on that one. And Bitcoin, what is it trading at now? 110.6. I had 112 when I looked at it this morning. So that's a pretty significant drop, 1,500 dollar drop from the time I last looked at it. But this level here, somewhere around 105, looks like a pretty solid area of support on Bitcoin. And that is your week in review on the indexes. FCX, this is another great swing trade. Pick this up back here. Love the sell-off. Always love to look for these overreactions. And got into a nice trade here. I know a few other members in the room got that. I did sell some at 40, and you know, my ultimate target was this 44 level. We got there and I sold the rest. I'm all out now. I'm glad I did get out because obviously we had this big sell-off on Friday. Might look to add back here around the $40 level at this 200-day moving average. It's just, again, maybe a bit of an overreaction to selling on Friday. FMS, this is one I'm in for a while. Been mentioning this. This is a small cap stock, graphene. It just keeps going up here, and should take some more off there. Gold, still in my gold trade. You can see here, beautiful trend up. Looks like we kind of topped out around when gold hit or went through 4,000. Pulling back a little bit, it's going to be back up again. I still think gold is in play for the rest of the year, so still holding that. So positions, and again, a lot of them are small cap, medium cap companies that are doing quite well. LABU, wow, it just keeps rocking here, and sold some at 80, and now I'm going through 110. Sold some through 110 there, and I got a bit of pullback on Friday, and it's still holding a little bit, but we'll see how that fares next week. Silver, same comments as gold, still looks good. TNA, I had some there, and I just didn't like the topping action, and then we started selling off Friday, took profits there, so I'm out of that. And talk about another one that hit my target. 375 was the target I was looking for on UNH, this kind of gap fill here, and got that as well. So all out of that trade after we hit 375. It might continue to go up here, but again, might be an opportunity to buy it back here around sort of 340 area. Could sell some puts there actually. You might get put the stock, so you might end up owning the stock at 340, but again, I think it has some potential. But again, I'm not liking RSI is kind of rolling over here. Same with stochastics and MACD, so it looks like it might be pulling back here again with the rest of the market. So those were the potential trades. Again, closed some swing trades out that I've been holding for a while, but it's worked out real well. Apple's the first one. Took a big hit Thursday and Friday. You can see here we came back down, filled this gap that they always talk about. And so we had some filling in there. It looks like 240 looks like a pretty strong area that is going to be support. So we could sell some puts there, or look for that, set an alert and look for that level to get hit. If it does get hit, I suspect there'll be some support there, and if not, there could be 235, could be another area of support there. So kind of liking Apple. Again, for a possible bounce if we get some more selling on early in the week, which I expect we will. Sticking with some of the more popular, popular sectors, this DPro, which is obviously a drone stock. It's had a really nice run up here, broke out from this sort of $7 level, gapped up. I'd be looking for a little bit more of a pullback if we get something Monday, Tuesday. Could be interesting somewhere in the 10.50 range or just under $11. If we can pick it up there, I still think it has some great potential. Didn't have a huge volume of selling on Friday, just a lack of buyers basically. I think I think it has some potential to move back up, and again in a sector that is popular. Here's another stock. This is actually a Canadian company, and they make a kind of a novel battery. Full disclosure, I'm actually in it from back here. This is one of the many sort of Canadian sort of small cap stocks that I've been trading and making a lot of money off this year. And I still think this had a pretty decent day given the sell-off on Friday. Didn't really pull back much. I'm going to look to add more to that position maybe next week, as I've taken some off and now I'm maybe back on. Hive is a digital, again, it's a sort of a Bitcoin miner. They're based in, it's actually another Canadian company based in Alberta. They are listed on the ASDAQ. And yeah, they're generating Bitcoin at their facility and getting a pretty good, I know I'm not familiar with all the terms, but I guess they're generating a fair number of Bitcoins, and it's doing fairly well here. So if we can get a bit more of a pullback on this stock, I actually did get into it back here, and I actually sold it too early. So I'll be looking maybe to get back into it. If we can get a bit of a pullback, maybe if we can get a gap fill at 550 would be great. So here's PLTR. Held up pretty well on Friday, even though we had a pretty big sell-off. This area here, 170, looks like a pretty solid area of support if you wanted to sell some puts there, expecting to get those shares given to you if you do get exercised. Or you could do like a spread, a put spread, and protect yourself. Tesla looks like it's coming back down to 400 here. I'd be watching that for support. And uranium, I mentioned this last week, broke out through 50. We had a nice move up on Friday until we got the tariff news and pulled back here I guess on the nervousness, a lot of volume there on Friday, but I still think this URA is a good stock to be in long term. So those are the potentials I am watching for next week. October 13th, you can see here the levels on the Dow, Q, SPY, and IWM, support and resistance levels. As far as economic events go, a lot of this stuff is probably not going to come out, like PPI data, jobless claims, all government data generated. And of course, the government's not operating right now, so we won't get a lot of these numbers. There are also a lot of Fed speakers this week. Was kind of surprised how many of them are out there on the speaker circuit, and way too many to list out here, but that could cause some volatility. And as far as earnings go, we are getting into earnings season. JPM, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, Citi kicking off the financials Tuesday morning, and then we'll have some tech stuff and UAL airline coming up on after the close Wednesday. TSCMC on Thursday before the open, and ABCAR. So those are some of the ones that are coming out this week. And as far as sort of a high level view of what I'm thinking about for this coming week, I still think gold, silver, uranium, anything that's powering AI, quantum stocks still remain hot, even though we did get some profit taking on Friday. I also like the rare earth stocks, of course, because that is the big bone of contention between China and the rest of the world right now. So I think that's going to continue to be a good sector to be in. And I've in a number of those sort of more junior stocks, but they're doing really well. Watch for announcements that may sound like companies are pulling back on AI capital spending. Mentioned this last week. This could really rock the markets because a lot of this increase in the markets have been due to this. And I think dip buyers are still out there supporting the markets. We didn't see them on Friday because of that news, and that just the selling just picked up during the day. But it may be a nervous couple of days for the next week. And I think obviously volatility is going to be spiking up. So look for more volatility, especially Monday, Tuesday, until things maybe settle down a little bit, and maybe we'll get some some positive news from between these China and U.S. discussions. So yeah, be prepared for more volatility, but also an opportunity to take positions that you like. The stocks that are in, especially in these ones up here. So that's it, everyone. As always, 8 o'clock, we'll start the pre-market show on Monday morning, and trading the markets at 8:30, and both live on YouTube and in our member chat room. So feel free to join us there. Look forward to it. Bye for now.